Good morning, Mike.
Thank you very much for joining us. So much to say, so much to talk about. Let us talk first of all about the migrant crisis, because I was reading this morning that the new situation apparently now is that when the boats are leaving the French side, if the French authorities try to stop the boats from going anywhere, they can't, because they don't have the power to do it. And if the people in the boats threaten with violence, there's nothing they can really do unless somebody's life is in danger.
Yes, you've got a point on that. The issue mainly is that migrants shouldn't be even in France, and then you've got this protocol between the UK and France, and that's right. When within the European Human Rights Court, you cannot do anything about the migrants, and this is a big issue because when we talk about asylum rights, it has changed a lot actually compared to the 70s. If you look at the figures in France, for example, during the 70s, you had only 2,000 people per year. You look in 2012, now it was 60,000 people per year. And if you look at 2019, it's now 180,000 people each year. So it's no more about people fleeing some wars and so on. It's no more about asylum rights. It's more economic migrants, and that is the issue. Because yes, you can say we have to treat them with humanity, and it's right. You cannot let people drown in the Channel or in the Mediterranean. But then Europe cannot host the whole world, cannot host all the misery of the world. And actually, you can integrate some individuals, but we won't be able to integrate whole people and whole countries. So that is a big issue, and I think that they shouldn't be in France, and France has a big problem with the European Union and with the Schengen area, because when they arrive they don't arrive directly in France because it's very hard also to arrive there, but they arrive from Greece, they arrive from Italy, and then within the Schengen area, they're free to go wherever they want. So that is the main issue actually, and that's also why the UK is suffering it, because many migrants want to come to France or the UK. So we receive many of them, and we won't be able to integrate it, and it will be a massive change for our country. And I think that even if you talk about humanity and the development of this country, if all the young people of this country flee this country, their country won't have any future, and we will have the same issue. I think the main point will be to help these developing countries so that these people stay in their country, and then we have to be tough, because otherwise you will receive all the people of all the world. Normally, you should, if a people is an irregular, you should be able to send back to the countries, and it should be the case normally.
Yes. Do you have the same problem in France as we have here, which is a lot of lawyers, a lot of human rights lawyers who say, well, once you've landed in Britain, you can't be moved. You have to stay now for the rest of time, because when they try to be deported, they get taken off planes, they get told that they can reapply for asylum. And there's no question in our minds now that this is a business. It's a big criminal enterprise, very much like smuggling drugs, now smuggling people.
Exactly, they pay a fortune to cross the Mediterranean Sea. So it's really a business. They are criminals, and we should struggle against these criminals. You're totally right. And France has exactly the same issue, because you have some European Union directives which prevent you to send them back, and you've got also the issue of the European Human Rights Court. I think the UK is still member also, and within these rules, it creates some jurisprudence, and then you cannot send them back. It's forbidden, as far, even if their let's say appliance to stay is rejected, you cannot send them back. So it does not make any sense in terms of law. And it's like a signal for the people. You just have to land in France or the UK, and you will be able to stay. So it cannot work like this, because otherwise you will have many more people arriving, as we have seen it during the 2015 crisis. Actually, you had many migrants coming in because they knew that Germany had opened the boundaries, and you were welcome to come. So if you open it, you will have many people that will arrive. That's mechanical.
Yeah, and we're seeing many, many more coming this year than last year even. Already more than 9,000 have come, which was the total number last year. That's already the first half of the year, so we expect there to be another 10,000, maybe another 20,000 before the end of the year. So there must be more immigrants coming to the northern French beaches and hanging around there. So where are they? Where are they staying? Are there makeshift camps going on? What?
Yeah, normally what happens is they stay in some camps near Calais, and then they try to come either by boat or in the lorries or as well. You have many cases like this. So it's always the same way, and actually even the French authorities are overwhelmed with these people coming, and then they don't have a proper let's say camp and so on. So it's very difficult.
Yes, it really is very difficult. And is this driving, Charles-Henri, the feelings of the French people about the European Union and the problem of having this, Schengen agreement and this block of countries where there are no borders?
I think you see it on the immigration issue, but also we have seen it with all the terrorist attacks that we have suffered in France. And many of them had come, for example, from Italy, Greece, and so on. And you just think about it. If each country had its proper boundaries, normally these people shouldn't be able to come to France and to do terrorist attacks. So I think it's more when we have some striking case like this that all the people are aware of, because otherwise, all the people in good neighborhoods and so on, they don't see it. So to them, it does not exist. They don't see the daily immigration. So it's more national issue when you have something like a terrorist attack, because all the country is really aware of this issue.
Yeah, exactly right. And how is the mood in France politically at the moment? Because obviously a lot of people demonstrating recently against the vaccine passports, against Emmanuel Macron. I saw the other day that some farmers sprayed his house with manure, I think, as people in France like to do. He's quite unpopular, isn't he?
Yeah, he is unpopular, and actually it's the first time in French history where you have demonstration between the 14th of July and the 15th of August. Normally during summer, you don't have any strikes or demonstration. And with this vaccine passport that Macron has released, it's a very difficult time for him. And actually, it's totally crazy, this vaccine passport. So let's be clear, I'm in favor of vaccination, but I think what differentiates the democracy from authoritarian regime or let's say dictatorship is normally in a democracy you try to have some persuasion and to show the effectiveness of the vaccine, and it's not by constraining people and actually doing an extensive vaccination passport, because it's not only to go to a station or to a club, it will be to go to a bar, to a restaurant, to a train. So it's totally, even to hospital, it's totally craziness. And actually, you have only two countries doing this, and now Italy, but it's Turkmenistan, Tajikistan. So you see what is the pattern and what is the model. Even in China and Russia, you don't have a compulsory vaccination. So it's not a question to be in favor of vaccine or not. I'm in favor of vaccination, but it's a question of principle. If you want to live in a freedom society, or if you want to live in a nanny state totally controlled, and it's a very let's say freedom destroying measure that Macron is doing, and that's why many people in France are doing a demonstration. And I hope that we will get the result. I was even myself in some demonstrations the two last Saturdays, and I hope it will be out. And I think it will be the case, because you will have some boycott, you will have some drop in terms of attendance, and it will create some damage economically. And this business will ask to Macron to take this out. Even in cinema and so on, they have 70% drop in audience. So it's so big, and they have done it actually in Moscow for bar and restaurants, and they have dropped the measure because you had didn't have some people in the bar and restaurant. So in 3 weeks, they had to drop this. So I think it will be the case in France. And anyway, we will struggle against this vaccination passport.
Yes, I think that's absolutely right. Because also, one of the things that's not very clear, either here or in France or anywhere else, is that if you have a system like that, what does it mean if you're a tourist? If I come from London to Paris, and in Paris you have to have a vaccine passport, and I don't have that because I'm from England, does that mean I can't go anywhere?
Normally, you have some agreements between the UK and France, so you would be able to go. But if you come from the UK and you are not vaccinated, let's say that you will have to do a test every 2 days. So it's totally crazy, and it's not something that you can actually do. So it's an issue for tourists, but also it's an issue in terms of principles. Actually, I don't think that we have to let's say trash our principles away because we have a sanitary crisis. We have the weapon of vaccination, and you have seen whether in Spain or in the UK the cases were up, but then thanks to the vaccination of the most vulnerable, you don't have many deaths, you don't have hospital beds that are overwhelmed. So we see that we are able to live thanks to this vaccination. So why you want to impose this freedom-destroying measure if the pandemic is under control thanks to vaccination? It does not make any sense, and it's more political and controlling people that sanitary measure, according to me.
And I see that you're in Barcelona, Charles-Henri. So presumably you've been able to travel out of France to Spain. Are you plotting Frexit there with the Catalonians?
No, actually, I'm in a free, let's say, location with a vaccination passport.
That's good.
No, no, just enjoying my holidays. So nothing political on that.
Oh, that's good. But what about the Frexit movement? How is that coming along? And are you hopeful that you might move it forward in the next year?
We are still pushing. Actually, we are pushing a lot the idea to get a referendum on EU membership from France. So we are still doing it. But actually, I imagine it's quite the same in the UK. Because of the sanitary crisis, all the political debates are about COVID-19, are about vaccination passport, are about lockdown. And I think it's also a pity because this COVID-19 crisis has shown all the harmfulness of the EU if you think about the border control, because they said COVID-19 has no passport, but it's the people that will bring you the COVID-19. It has come from China thanks to open borders. So you have the border issue, you have all the issue of the vaccination rollout because of the European Union. You've got also the issue of hospital beds that were closed because of the European Union, because when you are in the Eurozone, they ask you to do some reforms, and one of the reforms is to lower the spending on healthcare. So it's because of the European also. So you have many arguments in this COVID-19 crisis in favor of Frexit, in favor of taking back control, but it's very let's say all the debates are centered about should we do vaccination, should we do vaccination passport, and it's no more about sovereignty, even if it's linked. So it's quite hard to push for Frexit right now. We are pushing against the vaccination passport, but I hope that we will be out of this crisis quite soon, and we will be able then to push even more this idea of a referendum on EU membership. And let's be clear, if we got this referendum, I'm sure that we will win it.
Yes, I think a lot of people have seen the EU in its true light in the last year, and many people here are very happy that we left, given the situation with the vaccination rollout that Britain did, when they saw what was happening in the European Union and the way that they were acting, and they were sort of, making raids on the factories where the stuff was being made. It was unbelievable.
Yes, I see it was a total disaster. The European Union is in this crisis in the vaccination rollout. Even the CEO of Moderna and AstraZeneca, they have told this. They have told we were speaking with the French government during 2020 spring. Everything was on track in terms of financial agreements, in terms of logistics and so on. And then the European Union has decided to take this folder to take care about it. And they didn't hear nothing until autumn. So that's why we have 3 months late on vaccination rollout, and it's because of the European Union and the border idea. It was also the issue of the European Union. It was ideological. They didn't want to close the borders, even when you had many COVID-19 cases in Italy and Spain. It was they didn't want to close the border, so it's mainly because of the European Union as well that we are in this situation.
Absolutely. Charles-Henri, thank you very much indeed.